Hey, welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast, episode 30 now. I'm Graham. I'm here with Luke, Cody, and Chris. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name because it's Iosua? I think we just went
Iosua,
over
but
it.
it's close.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
gets close.
Well, so Chris has been a member with oh man,
Rockahoulics.
Rockahoulics. How long have you been with those guys?
2 years now.
Okay, yeah, and I know you've got a pretty sweet rig, which we'll get into. I guess we'll just jump right into, uh, how'd you get into wheeling around here? Have you always wheeled? Have you always been in the
Yeah,
Northeast?
Just
yeah,
quick
always
little
been.
interjection. Kish might be joining us pretty soon. I'm not really sure. He's currently caught up with some other matters, but he might be back. Sorry,
Okay.
carry on,
Cool.
Chris. Sorry to interrupt.
So yeah, from the East Coast, from a little town of Lunenburg, and I grew up on a farm. So I had a Toyota pickup when I was 10. My dad put four cans behind the tires and in the driveway on a little bit of a hill and said, "If you don't roll, you can have it." It was a 5-speed 22 RE, truck, and I made sure I didn't roll at all. And, burn the clutch up, take 10, 15,000 miles off the clutch. But I got to keep that, and I did all my chores and stuff with the truck around the yard. So that started my off-roading escapade, or whatever you want to call my off-roading start. And then I went to a Jeep when I started driving. I had a Wrangler, a 92 Jeep Wrangler, when I was 16. And then you know how that works. Progression of 31s, 33s,
Yeah,
35s, 36s, all that good stuff. So I've been wheeling,
The-
for a while. And unlike you guys, we actually go to Field and Forest.
Wow.
So we're not,
You know
we're not
what? I
scared of
was
those
honestly
trails
expecting
and
that.
stuff. Yeah, we're not scared of the big boy trails over there. So
Timmy's been trying to get me to
You know.
go. I got to dial in a few more things.
You have an invite from me whenever you want to go.
All right,
I can
all
bring a
right.
guest. So
I
as
gotta-
soon as you're ready to put your pull-ups on,
So,
and
I'm
take-
down. I just want to figure out how to put a winch onto my current bumper. I love my current bumper. I want to just flush mount it onto the back or put it like kind of upside down almost and put it onto the back side of the plate. I'm down to go whenever. I just got to get a winch on my shit and I'm down. So
I gotta dial in my doubler. I need to increase the pressure on the EcoBox D10 so it stops popping out of gear on downhills, and then I'm set. I got nothing else. Hold me back.
There's a lot of Cherokee excuses going on right now.
Well, no, what are you talking about? This is high budget shit. This is
Guys can
EcoBox
come,
doubler. Like
just-
this
yeah,
is like
fancy
fancy Cherokee stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys gotta just come out with us and
Yep.
come out do some wheeling.
Oh, it'll be
Hell
soon.
yeah.
Sooner rather than later. I'm hoping.
Yeah,
I'm
good,
hoping
good.
to make one trip, but I'm probably gonna have to make it a long ride to get up there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke, you've been to Field and Forest though. Luke, I thought I saw your Cherokee.
No,
No, I thought you
No.
went to Field and Forest.
every
Okay.
time that I have ever been out with you guys or like around you guys, my Jeep has been broken because it'll go for a solid 3 months and then it'll be down for like a month and a half. It's
Oh, yeah,
typical
okay.
Cherokee math.
Yeah, Cherokee bro. Yep, Cherokee bro. Yep. Yeah, because we wheeled together at Brookridge
Yep.
for was it an STC run or a backyard built?
It was.
I believe that was a
backyard
back. Yep,
open
that was a-
run. Yep.
Yeah, that was an open run.
Yeah, Craven kind of suckered me into helping out.
He's good for that.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
Brookridge is only 9 minutes from my house, so
Oh,
I kinda-
wow.
Works out.
I kind of have no crying to drive over to Brookridge and go wheeling for the day. So,
That's nice.
There's some decent stuff there. We cut a bunch of trails out there. A bunch
Yeah,
of
it's looking a
rock
lot better.
Yeah, we cut a bunch of stuff out there. A little harder stuff. And
Little harder stuff.
It's not
There's like a lot of more interesting hard trails there. I remember when we first started a couple years ago.
Oh
going there,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
like, there's
100%.
nothing,
100%.
right? It was like blues and greens, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. No, it's Brookridge has come a long way, and I think it's a very decent property for being close and in Mass, and we kind of have to. There's not much land that we can use, the
Yeah.
whole Harris situation and all that shit. So
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
sucks so much.
I
yeah, it's a
think
great property.
I think I was at Harris with you one time.
Yes, you were. Yep.
Was,
Okay.
was he there when Graham did the Wall of Death?
Was that that day? There were a bunch of Rockaholics guys there that day. I just
I think it was that day, but I didn't see Graham do the wall of death. So I didn't
yeah,
see
yeah.
that
Well, because they were all the
picture.
sticky guys and all the guys with buggies and stuff that could roll and not didn't
Yeah.
have to drive it home. Did it, and then Mike Craig bullied me into doing it. I say bullied, but he was the only one who was telling me to do it, and not bullying me. So I listened to
Yeah.
him over everyone else.
Mike
Yeah.
Craig. Mike Craig always bullies everybody because he doesn't have a rig half the time, and Megan's driving it the other half.
Yeah.
So that's just how it
Hey.
works with Mike.
Would you do us a favor and bully Megan into coming on? Because she would actually be more entertaining than fucking Mike to have on.
I agree 100%. I think I'd rather talk to Megan than Mike. So I think we should put Megan on the podcast. Or maybe she'll let him go on or something like that.
Or maybe they just both need to come on.
Yeah, they do. Maybe we can do it together. Maybe we can do it together.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do it.
Have to grab him by the balls and fucking drag him in.
Megan's a hell of a driver, and she's just like one of the guys. She's not scared to bust your balls and give you shit. So that's why we love Megan when it comes to that stuff. She's not afraid to tell you what's going on or what you're doing wrong. So that's why it's the Rockaholics is a good group of guys. Like I said, a couple years with them. Before it was NTC, Northeast Toyota Crawlers.
Those are another good group of dudes.
Yeah.
Ben Cox is in there. Do you know him?
I don't. That name doesn't sound familiar. I remember Riggs more than I remember people.
Kind of like a Clapwagon Sammy on 36. Swampers, Toyota axles, been stretched out a little bit.
I don't remember.
Oh. Well, he might have joined up more recently after you left, but
I was OG NTC back in like 2005, 2006. Back in, and then I kind of fell off the club thing for a while and came back in probably 2019, or so 2018 I came back.
Once the cool clubs sort of appeared,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And then they wheeled like once a year. We did Toyota Takeover once a year, so I was like, I'd like to wheel more than one time a year.
Yeah.
So I kind of hopped in with the Rockaholics, and Mike kind of just sucked us up.
Yeah, I give them fucking credit. The Rockaholics group, you guys fucking run shit. Like, it is every other weekend, it looks like, or at a minimum fucking 2 trips a month. Some months it seems like you guys are out every weekend.
It's actually getting to the point where it's so crazy that there's sometimes 2 runs in one weekend, and you have to pick where you're going to go because there's 2 runs on one day.
Wow.
It's getting kind of crazy on the, I run out of money real quick. So it just you gotta pick where you're gonna go ahead of schedule because they're definitely active and not afraid to wheel all the time.
Well, how many members do they? I mean, I hate to turn this into a how does Rockaholics operate? But how many guys are in the club?
So I thought Mike said 60. Don't quote me on that exact numbers. There's probably a core group of 10 of us that go to absolutely everything from trail cleanups to wheel and runs. Like, there's 10 of us that 10 or 12 of us that do it. Mike Craig shows up every now and then. And we just kind of all hang out together.
Gotcha.
We kind of got a similar situation like that where, I'm going to say the people that are on the podcast are very, very active in our club. Like, whenever there's a run scheduled, if my rig's together, I'm there. Cody and Graham are always
You're going to have that with every club. There's going to be the core group of people that actually keep it running. And then you're going to have the satellite people who show up and, are awesome people. They can't commit to going every weekend, which is fine, but not as cool.
We do have to give honorable mention to Miguel and his family because they have been kicking ass this year.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Even ended last year. I've seen them at a lot of, granted, they do go to a lot of local events, but
they've
still,
changed the
I've
game
seen them,
for our club, at least. I mean, as far as bringing on people to actually come out and wheel.
That
with
is
interesting rigs too. It's not like they're bringing out stock Cherokees or Cherokees on 33s. Yeah. It's like, caged rigs, and Miguel's got that new buggy, so it's gonna be
Sean's
a cool year if we actually.
Buggy.
Yeah, and Sean's got his new buggy too now. It's gonna be a cool year if we actually fucking start planning events. I think it's been a slow start. Hopefully.
Yeah. The Rona kind of threw us all through a little loop there on getting all that shit done with the COVID crap.
Well, not just that. Like, a lot of the core people in the club have had shit go on. For example, Kish had his kid. My rig, what was supposed to be a 6 to 8 week fucking teardown, has turned into I've rebuilt a frame rail section. I've four-linked it instead of flipping leaf springs, and I was gonna put a doubler in it, and then I realized, holy fuck, I'm running out of time, so I scrapped that project because that was just like a fucking time sink and
That was a smart idea.
const it
Yes.
was just so much
Yeah.
waiting for parts on that because I was using someone else's setup that the way it was set up, I had Bob Swinsky's old fucking Dana 20 MP231 box for rocks setup. So like it wasn't, like an
Yep.
eco box, so you could just go and fucking order your shifters from Northwest Fab. It was fucking I ordered a set of shifters, they didn't fit, so like I was gonna have to get another bracket, and it just became a fucking headache.
Yeah.
And then sorry not to interject too far here, but I was on a road trip for the last week. It was fucking awesome. But in the meantime, I did manage to get the plates all cut for everything. I don't know if I brought it up on the last podcast. They're now getting tacked into place. So I will have my frame rail fucking fixed up so I can start putting my front axle back under it.
Oh yeah, there you go, dude.
Awesome.
Oh, the
Um,
front axle's out now? I knew the
yeah, the
back was
front
sort of
axle
in.
is the front axle is currently sitting in the front bay of the shop. I fixed a couple of like the welds on the bottom of the truss below the link mount cracked.
Ah,
So I
okay.
added a little bit of plating onto that. The lower link mounts are perfectly fine, but
Well,
whatever.
does your truss or does your link mount, I assume it's the upper link mount that's breaking,
Yep.
right? Does it
It's not even
just attach to
breaking.
the
It
top
it
or does
just
it go all the
attaches
way down
to
to
the
the tube?
top.
See,
No, it just
I've never
attaches.
trusted that shit. If I'm gonna do a truss, granted, I can't talk. My axle doesn't have a truss. But if I was gonna put a truss on my axle, I'd take the mount, it would touch the frame first, and then I'd build the truss around that.
If I
No,
could do it
yeah,
again, I would do that. But I went with the RTEC stuff. I was like, oh, well, everyone's just doing it, so this must be how everyone's doing it.
yeah.
Okay,
Well, everyone
cool.
runs Cherokees with just stiffeners and random link they weld on and or random track bar mount they weld on, and they don't you don't hear about it ripping the frame apart, but
Nope.
here it happens.
Easy with the F word in a Cherokee. There's no frame there. It's unibody. It's a
The
unibody there. So
unibody rail.
don't
Sorry,
start with this
the
unibody.
unirail.
Yeah, the unibody is there. You
Trust
guys
me,
keep saying the F
I'm
word
getting
around.
sick of the unirail.
Yeah,
I'm about done with it.
there's no frame with you guys.
Yeah. Well, I got
It's all
the middle section
pin.
of mine is like a frame. It's a three-way box now.
Of course,
You
yeah.
you'll get to it if you're. I know you've been listening. Yeah, I don't think you're probably not at that part yet, but I just
I
did a
think I'm
bunch of
getting
work.
close.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
get.
I'm at episode. I think I'm at episode 20. I think I just started episode 20.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I ever come out to Field and Forest, you'll be able to see all the handiwork too.
I
Not
mean,
that
you
it's
have
anything
the
pretty to
invite.
look at, but
You have the invite. It's on the podcast. You have proof that I invited you as my little person to sponsor whatever I gotta do to bring you out there as a guest
sweet.
to get you out on the trail so we can actually get you to do some real trails over here.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I gotta dial some things in. I don't want to be a trail scab as much
Yep.
as possible.
So, I feel like we've talked a good bit about F and whatnot.
Oh, we totally got off track.
Oh yeah, well,
let's
let's bring it back on track, and I'm gonna ask the question of what was your first thoughts on F when you first went there? Like, what should we expect?
Well, my first thought was, wow, this is awesome. And when you thought you found a hard trail, there was another hard trail harder than that one. Field and Forest is just a great place, and Bob and Liza are great people, and it's just a great all around place to go.
Awesome.
Probably one of my favorite. It's top two in my favorite places to wheel.
What's the
So
other one?
it's-
I got
I
one.
love Roush. I don't know why.
Okay.
But we go to 4 or 5 times a year. We go down to Roush, and I love it. I know it's not hard, and it's not like the
I
craziest
know we've
trails in the
beaten it.
world, but I love
I
it.
know we've beaten it to death, but that Roush trip that we do every year is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's a nice.
Like,
No, Luke,
sorry.
finish your sentence.
It's just wild to be able to go out and like not put your tires on the same section of dirt once during the entire day that you're out there. And yeah, some of the stuff they've got there isn't the hardest shit ever, but it's decently challenging enough, and it's cool as fuck to do.
Me and one of my friends Matt went last year. I had a TJ, short arm TJ, had a high 9 front, 8.8 rear on 37s, flat bellied. And we did 71 miles at Roush, just putting around the trail. We did a bunch of trails.
Shit.
So it was nuts. It was it was like 2.5 days. I ended up I had a super 8.8 in the back, which wasn't that super. I broke a shaft on an easy obstacle.
What is a super 8.8, by the way?
So it's a C clip eliminator 8.8. So it's 31
Okay.
flying chromoly
So it's semi-float?
shafts. Yep, makes it like a
That's
9-inch.
cool. Okay.
Figure it
Yep.
that way. Like the bearings are on the outside like a 9-inch. And I had trail ready bead locks and 37-inch Toyos. And I was climbing a dumb obstacle, wasn't even being a hero, and I broke a shaft. I was pissed, and it kind of killed a day and a half of wheeling for me. So,
Trying to be a hero will bite you in the ass sometimes.
I was being
but-
gentle that time.
Yeah,
I know.
he just said he wasn't being a hero.
I get that. I was just fucking saying that, like, me trying to be a hero at Roush in front of those JKs fucked my whole fucking season up, man.
You're telling us you at least didn't pop a tire. You just lost the bead.
No, but the amount of extra destruction that I fucking did, like, my link mount wasn't moving before I did that. After I did that, I could put in fucking gear and watch my fucking link mount bounce around in the fucking cab. So, like, there's levels to this shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about with having Roush is just such a everything around here is an amusement park. It's small little properties with obstacles that you just you go around, you hit them all, or you try to, and if they're too hard, then you either break your shit or whatever, you don't make it up, yada yada. But Roush is kind of fun because it's more like you got to travel to get to the obstacles, and there's more driving involved. I don't know. That was the biggest thing I noticed.
That's pretty cool.
Like I got halfway through, like not even halfway. We did like one trail, and then I noticed my fuel line was, I just got a rubber fuel line. It was cracked, right? So I was like, okay, I gotta go back to camp and get my scissors so I can cut that and bring it up because I didn't bring them out with me. And it took me like 20 minutes to drive back with my junky ass fuel line. I don't know. It feels more like an adventure. Whereas around here, it's like, oh, I broke my shit. Let me just drive 10 minutes over here and fix it, and you're right there when I get back. It's more fun. It's right. It's more long-term stuff. And from what I understand, what were you gonna say?
It's also fun having traction. So Roush is like 40 grit sandpaper versus everything we're used to up in the East Coast. We don't have all that traction, and trees. They don't have all the trees and stuff that we do up here.
Yeah, and the thing that was cool for me was it was like when I was getting my tires smoking and I was doing dumb stuff out there, I was doing shit that if I was trying to do up here, my Jeep would just get fucking denied at the base of the obstacle.
Of course. Yep, of course. Yep.
So I suppose that, we brought up that weird ass TJ you had. What's your current rig?
It's an 85 Toyota ish truck, mostly stock, small block Chevy, 1 tons, 43s, normal stuff. CUCV axles.
The New England treatment, right?
Yeah, it's a level. It's a level.
Mostly stock New England wheeler, right? This is.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
So what's that? What would the mostly stock New England wheeler be? Tons, at least
40s,
37s.
Yeah, I mean 40s. I mean, nowadays 40s are the new 35s. So everybody's running 40s. So a New England wheeler would be 40s, tons, and probably a V8.
Okay, I can get down with that. Cage?
Yeah,
cage?
you gotta have a cage.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a tube, your
you do.
body's just gonna not.
Do you?
Yeah, you're still playing around in the amateur tier at the moment. Once you get that there, fucking set of bars behind your head, it helps you to grow a little bit of fucking balls.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
no.
Too, so.
I was gonna say the balls are still there. It's just the stupidity overpowers the balls right now. So I'm just like, that could work. I'm gonna try it, and then I just either make it or I don't. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
cage
mean,
is definitely.
Cody, as soon as you put a cage on that thing, it's gonna roll. Like,
Oh, dude, the day
having seen you drive, like, I've always been a conservative wheeler, right? And I put the cage on it, and I got a little. I've come way out of my comfort zone because I have the cage, right? You can roll it, whatever. But you, on the other hand, have come just as close to me rolling currently, and you don't have a cage. So it's
correct. I definitely like the
I'm
first day
excited.
I go out with the cage. If I don't roll it, one of my friends needs to roll it. Like if I'm like tipped out and I'm being a bitch, somebody just needs to walk over instead of pulling me back down. Luke, just send me on my way. Just break the wine bottle as I go over the deep end. Like I'm fucking down. Because you are right.
Well, we wouldn't have a wine bottle on the trail, so I'll smash one of them old Coke bottles over your rig or something, like we find in fucking Kitch's Woods.
Perfect. I mean, that sounds good
So
to me.
I gotta ask, on that scale, if Graham's conservative, Cody's fucking out there, where do I fall on that, you guys?
I don't know. You're wishy-washy. Some days you're like you're down to fuck, and other days you're kind of like, I don't want to hit this, right?
True. Yes, I completely agree with Graham
You
right there
bounce
because
between
yes, because there's
you bounce
days
between
where
being more conservative than me sometimes, and other days being worse than Cody.
yes. I mean, I could not agree more because genuinely, like, there's days where you're just out there bear killing. We'll just show up and you're like, you're zest up, you got a little bit of love in you, and you're just like, let's fucking go. And then there's other days where you're like,
I don't want to push the rig. I don't wanna-
Okay. Not so I'm like middle of the road, but I'm a chaotic
Well, you're not middle of the
neutral.
road. You either more or less.
Wouldn't that be chaotic neutral?
Yeah, yes.
bipolar, I guess, bipolar chaos.
I have to say, I think the worst day for me as far as like abusing the rig would either be the first day at Roush or that day that we went to Harris where Cody was riding passenger because I was like all over everything except
Yeah.
for the wall of death. I couldn't pull my balls out of my fucking throat to do that.
Yeah, that that day at Harris, I think that was the last time we ever went. And I think we've talked about it
Yeah.
previously. I couldn't have asked for a better last day at Harris if that had to be the last day at Harris. It was dry as hell. We did every hard obstacle, like everything. We did the creek trail. We did all those ledges on the side that I'd never previously touched. And then I watched somebody walk up, and I think it was you, Luke. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, we're just going up this. Like all those ledges, just everything. All that stuff
I-
that usually gives buggies problems, right? We're just going up. Just
I also have to
DOT
say
tires.
that it was a fucking nice day for that because it started out super shitty. Fucking Colin blew something up. I fucking popped the valve stem. That was a good fucking day.
Yeah.
After we got it moving and once we got away from everyone else, it just like took off. But I suppose that we should get back to asking Chris some questions.
Yeah, true.
So what's current? You said you got 43s on there, and like I know what they are, but would you tell everyone what they are?
43-inch SX stickies on 20-inch race lines.
See, now that's just like DTF, but when I first met you, you had the fucking assault weapons on, and that
Yeah.
was fucking awesome. My
I had them.
introduction to this dude was fucking cut 44 boggers. Like,
Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah, I had 44-inch boggers on H1 double bead locks, and it was they looked cool, but they didn't they dug down, they just didn't go forward. They weren't very good at the forward traction. They went down like an excavator, but they did not go forward. They just dug holes. That's all they did.
so I went down to go and see a buddy of mine in Tennessee, and I'm just driving around. It's fucking weird down there. They got fucking 44, or not 44. I think this rig, or the majority of the rigs I saw were on like the 39s, but they run fucking TSLs up front with cut boggers out back. Down the fucking road. Like,
Yeah, they call that mullets. I think that's called the mullet. The TSL's in the front and the boggers in the back.
Now, is there any
Well-
benefit to doing that?
Well, the problem with the boggers is there's no lateral support. So as soon as you get on anything, you slide. So even mine,
okay.
I cut the shit out of mine. My fronts were cut. I cut 11 pounds of rubber on boggers,
Jeez.
trying to get some lateral support, and they still sucked.
Yep.
And with
Yeah,
a
yours were
16.5
what?
wheel,
No. Okay,
What was that?
by lateral support, what do you mean?
So something holding you straight. How's that? So
Okay.
if you want to
So it's
climb an
gonna
obstacle and
because it's
stay straight,
those lugs are it's just
Like
because
they're
they're just
almost like a
fingers,
V.
right?
yeah, yeah, they're like fingers. Exactly, they're
Yeah.
like fingers.
So
So as soon as
there's
you
nothing
give it
holding
any
you any.
throttle,
Yeah.
yep, you give it throttle, you'd slide right, you'd slide left, wherever the tires felt like they were going to put you. So
Okay.
you groove like little straight lines or crooked lines and
Yeah, to
try to
give
get
you that
some.
support.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, like
That
a
makes
normal
sense.
tire would have. Like a normal
Yeah,
tire would
so
have. So
the I noticed what you're talking about when I ran the Trep radials compared to the Nittos. That's another thing I like about the Nittos. They got that fucking section of blocks in the center.
yeah,
So if I go to give it gas, they generally want to stay where they're pointed-ish
that's
until
good.
I run out of traction and talent. With
Talent.
the Trep, well, yeah, no, I don't have any fucking talent. We just went over that.
Well, you don't have any traction either, so you're not going anywhere.
So with the tires that I was running, the fucking 37 Trep radials, when I would get on it, if I didn't have the tires cut exactly where I wanted it to go, the ass end would kind of slide on me, and I'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
I've noticed that,
But
but I can't say anything because my rear tires are spanked right now. I need to get two new ones for the back. But I also don't know what I want to do as far as if I want to stay on 37s or
40s,
40 because that's where
40s.
the cool people are.
Yeah, just go
something
40s. No one runs
something
37s
entertaining's
anymore.
I
going
know, but I
on.
drive it on the fucking road. It's a, I don't know. I keep pushing my luck with this thing. I'm gonna keep it a road driver. I will build another rig before I take my current Cherokee off the road. It's just too fun to drive. Uh,
Yeah.
but I could do a 40-inch trip radial would be. I think that'd probably be the max I could do.
Yeah.
But
I ran those. Those ran good down the street. My
yeah,
I had a 2006 Tacoma that I went to Roush with. It was on 35s, speed locks. I bent the control arm at Roush, so it was my daily driver, and I owed a lot of money still on it. I think I owed like 15 or 16,000. And I got it home and I cut it up and I put Super Duties under it, and that ended up on 40s. And I drove 65 miles a day. It would go 70 miles an hour down the highway, and those trap radials were good.
yep.
They didn't last. They didn't last very long. I
No, they're
only
not.
got
They're not the greatest wearing, but
no. They
That's
didn't
that's
last
it
very
the
is what it
thing with
is.
the Maxis. Whatever they do with their radio, like, and I
It's a
know that the
soft
last guy
compound.
that we
Even the
had on,
DOT stuff.
yeah, the last guy we had on swore that the Bighorns got a shit ton of mileage. So I'm wondering if they were a different fucking blend. But I know that with the Maxis Razors and the Treps, they are fucking soft for a DOT tire.
Yeah,
I think
they're good. They're good tires.
Cody even mentioned, like we were driving down the road when we were coming back from Ma Bell, we were just kind of putzing around. We got food and stuff. And
Yep.
we were at low tire pressure, going to the just back to your grandparents' house to actually use his air pump to pump up, so
Yep.
we didn't have to go to a gas station. And you commented on how warm my tires were.
Dude,
And-
it was significantly warmer. Like you could put your hand on my tires, Buckley's or Caitlin's, nowhere near as warm. Probably like a 40-degree difference almost.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself. The Nittos that I'm running, they don't bulge as much. Like I can run them down the
no,
road
your
at
tires are
24
stiff as a
psi,
board.
but if I'm wheeling, I've got them at like 6 fucking psi, and they don't bulge out. He has 6 psi in there, and
And
he's
I
fucking
my
riding on the
rim's
rim.
like on the ground.
That was the biggest change for me was going from the 16.5s and the double bead locks. I used to run 3 psi. But I was on an obstacle once, and my friend's like, "Your rim's turning, but your tire's not." There was so much sidewall with the 44s that literally my rim was turning and my tread was staying on the same plant, so I
On the
couldn't
bead
get
lock?
off the. Yeah, well, no. So
Oh!
the tires are so big because of sidewall that
Yeah.
you can't move the whole tire. So I was aired down so much that I couldn't turn off the obstacle. So I kept fighting to go driver on an obstacle. So that's why I went with 20s, was to suck up some of the
Oh, you're on
sidewall
20s
issues.
now. Okay.
Yeah, I got 20-inch race line.
Yeah, he's
Gotcha.
got fucking
Oh,
big
that's right,
dick
you said that,
swinging
sorry.
money.
Yeah.
He's
Something
running
like
Bling
fucking
race lines over here.
monsters, right?
yeah, race lines. Yep. I'm
Oh,
running
okay,
race lines.
sorry,
Yeah,
wrong
running
brand.
race lines on. Yeah, running race lines. Yeah, I wanted the trail radies, but I was too poor. and I couldn't justify spending the extra $650.
The thing with race lines that like kind of like is weird in my head because I came from like car culture and race line coilovers are like the trashiest piece of shit coilovers you can get for like cars. So when anytime somebody says like race lines, it just puts like a chill into my spine. I'm just like, ugh, like race lines.
Yeah, they're
So
definitely not trashy for sure. They're
No,
definitely
the wheels are
yeah,
nice.
no,
They're nice
yes, I
wheels.
know the wheels are absolutely incredible, but it's just funny that one culture
Yeah.
has like the dog shit, and then there's like race lines which are like, oh, you know, like, it's pretty funny.
Everybody's got race lines. Everybody's had race lines. I haven't had race
Well,
lines, but
you got to use the plug Scott Goforth on that. Goforth does good things when it comes down to buying tires, and I finally bit the bullet and bought those. I almost had to give my firstborn to buy those tires. But, it was definitely a hard pill to swallow when you spend that much money on tires and wheels.
You know what I've said it with Timmy. I really want to try those fucking Mickey stickies, the Baja Pro stickies. Those
Yeah.
things look like they fuck. Not
Yeah,
the fucking bogger looking ones, but the ones where they're like a fucking bastard MTR. They offer
Yeah.
those in a fucking sticky, and man, every time I see them on sale, I'm like, behave thyself.
Yeah, they call the trail bosses or something like that. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And I don't want the fucking non-sticky ones because those belong on JKs on the side of the trail. But I
Yes.
feel like the sticky ones might fuck.
Yeah, no, we went to Roush with a guy, Bill Moore. He has a 97 TJ with a 5.3 in it. He has like a 4L60, and he runs those. He's got old school Dana Track 60s under it. And those tires, he came from a 39-inch red crawler, and he went to those sticky, the new sticky Mickey's 40s, and he said he loves them because he said he had no complaints about those versus the crawlers. Because the crawlers, he said, at Roush is so much traction, you would only get 1 year out of a set of tires. So they would wear them out in a year, and they were cords, which us New England guys still run for another year or two. If you've ever seen the blue Eugene's Blueberry, there's belts coming through that Samurai, and that thing does some crazy things.
That's
with
the
cords
funniest
coming
shit.
through. Yeah, so he doesn't care. It's just
you got to get your money's worth, right?
Yeah, he's got him.
Well, the cords
Eugene
had
got
more
his money
traction.
through for sure. It's like it's studded snow traction. I think when the cords start coming through. So they work. They still work. The BFGs are definitely amazing tires. They just can't make a sidewall for a big rig. And mine's not a small rig. It's almost 4,900 pounds. So mine's not little. And I was afraid to put I was gonna go 42-inch reds. That's what I was gonna do. Is the 42-inch BFG crawlers. And
Yeah, 49 on a buggy. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's a truck.
Yeah.
So it still has a Toyota cab, and it's got a lot of tube on it. It's a good
Yeah.
gym, so.
Well, the tube's what kills you. I gotta weigh mine.
So
Yeah.
my rig I'm putting right now at like 5150, 5200.
Yeah, full
It's
body
fucking a
though.
pig. Yeah,
the
but she's
full
a
body
pig.
makes up. So my taco was 5540. That was what my taco was. I had a crew cab, short bed, 06 on tons.
Yeah, and
40s.
didn't you bob that thing?
Yeah, I bobbed 14 inches out of the bed.
Well, the tube adds up. The tube's where it kills you. Like,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I don't know, Graham. I'm gonna disagree with you on that. I think that it's more the fucking axles on my rig. Like that's where
I mean, it is, but then you think about like all the work I just did to mine. I easily added 300 pounds to the thing with.
No,
tube.
you added more than that
More
if you're
than
talking
that?
about adding
Okay,
the
I
doubler too.
was being conservative, but yeah, I mean it's a shitload of weight. Like my shit's fucking heavy now. I gotta put it on the
Unlike
scale.
fucking real life, I'm gonna be really fucking liberal on that. I'm gonna put you at fucking at this point. You got to be sitting at like 5,300 maybe,
I
fully
don't think
loaded
it's that
with all.
high. Because
Fully loaded, yeah,
You still
Fully
have your
loaded.
rear seats too.
yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta put it on the scale. There's a scale in town.
I would personally, I'd say right around 4,500. Not 45, 50, 5450. So technically 55,000.
Yeah, I'm putting your rig at heavier than mine.
Yep. Because you have
It
the new
adds up
floors
quick. It adds up
Yeah.
quick. And then
You know-
tools and all that stuff too.
Yeah, the tools
Also-
and the 205. When I'm fully loaded, like 2 tires in the back going to Roush, like, like it's fucking heavy. She's
Yeah,
fat.
it's a lot. Yeah, she's a big girl.
That poor little 4 liters. Like, I'm
It's so
fucking trying
sad.
here, man. So, you know, you're on this podcast and we're absolute whores when it comes to rigs. What's the coolest rig you ever had?
That would be my Tacoma. I loved that truck, and I had that for about 5 years, and that was that 2006 Toyota Tacoma, and it was on Super Duties and 40s. That was probably my coolest rig because I could drive it everywhere. I could put the kids in the back, and it
That's the
just did
you
whatever I
can't
asked
beat a
it to do.
drivable rig, right?
Yeah, no,
Just
I
absolutely
miss,
ridiculous, but still
yeah,
on the
I
road.
miss that. Yeah, I miss that every day. It's in
Everyone,
SoCal now, so
yeah.
it's
Ever
doing a good life out there.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you sold it to somebody and they're driving it still.
Yeah, so I sold it to a guy who flew up here from North Carolina and then drove it home.
Wow.
And then it was on 40-inch pro comps, 538s, Grizzly lockers.
That
And
was
he
a
drove.
nice fucking rig.
Yeah, being an adult, you had to sell things. It's
Yep.
not too fun, but I had to do it. So the taco had to go.
And I know you got Challer's old rig. So
Yep.
how did that happen?
So Dave sold it to somebody else. Jay Varney actually bought it first. He brought it up here. I want to say 2006. I don't remember the exact year, but he brought it up here and it was still full body. And it's been a kind of a slut, and everyone's owned it. I think it's had like 10 owners up here, and everyone's kind of passed it around and touched it. So I'm untouching all the touching. I did a front half this winter. I cut the frame off for me and my friends. Cut the frame off. I raised it 8 inches. I shortened it 13 inches. It only had about 2.5 inches of up travel. That kind of sucked. So now it's got about six and a half.
I'm not gonna
and
lie, I'm getting to that point myself because like up front, I've got like 3 inches of up travel.
Yeah, fuck that.
And I just need to just fucking chop everything up there if I want to change it. There's
So
no way I can
went.
get around that.
I went so crazy as I put an Artec truss on because it had some abortion of a homemade truss on there before.
I remember that. That thing
Yeah,
fucked though.
We won't talk about that. So I cut all that shit off, and I did an Artec truss, but I actually cut 4 inches out of the center to go around my harmonic balancer. So I cut it so literally there's a chunk taken out of the middle, so the motor can sit there when it goes up for up travel.
That's awesome.
Because I got the motor as low as I could inside, and I also triangulated the front. It was 3-link with 3/4 Heims, which I have no idea how they didn't fucking break. Because this thing's been beat and beat and beat.
That's one of those things though. Like I build a lot of fucking 3-links for people. I did Cody's. I'm helping Kish do his. We use the 1 1/4 Heims on the bottom, but on that upper, fuck it. 7/8 by 3/4 Cody is what we use.
Mm-hmm.
And those things don't fucking die. Like even under my rig, they ripped apart the fucking cross member, like cracked the fucking cross member before I fucked up those Heims.
So I had the 2-inch Johnnies, whatever they are, the big Johnnies. I had that for lowers, and I had 3/4 uppers with a 3-link on 1.5 inch, quarter wall. So the DOM was strong, but how that upper link never rotated or tore off with the Ray Charles welds, I don't even understand. Helen Keller was involved a little bit. I don't even understand some of the welding that was done in this poor buggy. So we've done a lot. I got to thank all my friends that have helped me get me where I am now, or it's still be in pieces. But it was nuts to see, and the track bar wasn't going to fit. So I just said, fuck it, and did double triangulated because it's supposed to do double triangulated in any kind of buggy. And then full hydro. It had a single-ended ram, full hydro before, and I went with the PSC 2.5 double-ended now.
Treating it right. Damn.
Yeah, so I can actually fucking turn.
Yeah.
I actually broke last weekend. We did Field and Forest for the opener, and I broke a 35 spline inner chromoly, and I wiped out.
I saw that. I saw that picture.
Yeah,
that
a little
sucks.
boom. I was doing. I did the bunghole, went over break over rock, and I broke at the beginning of the tape. So it decided it didn't want to be in there anymore.
Yeah.
So that broke. So
just kind of done with your shenanigans and left the building.
Yeah, it was like, you know what? I'm out. I'm taking a nap right now, and I don't want to come back. So
okay,
it broke. So I mean, it's a healthy small block. There's an old like 90s build with it's got 305 heads and a small cam, and she gets pretty good. She's on propane. She's pretty good for what she does, and the doubler 203, 205.
So I gotta ask.
Oh, that's heavy. How
Yeah,
heavy is the 203, 205? That's
that's
got to be a
fucking
fucking
heavy. That's how heavy that
boat
is. Yeah,
anchor.
I don't want to lift it. Yeah, I don't want to lift it. I'll tell you that. So
I don't want to lift the 205 Eco Box, and that's an aluminum
yeah,
tumbler, right?
the the 203 205 is about the same weight as a Samurai.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want to pick that thing up for sure. That's
No.
definitely a big setup. But it's strong, so I don't
Yep,
have to worry
yep.
about breaking it, and I can be a meatball with a heavy foot and not have to worry about
Yeah,
disintegrating.
that is definitely the nice part about it.
Yep.
You
So
compare it to the Atlas stuff. Sorry, we're gonna go
yeah,
on
no,
tangent because
okay.
205 stuff. You compare the 205 factory stuff to the Atlas stuff. And it's like, why would you go with an Atlas when you can get a 205 for like 200
It
bucks?
it would be
Other than the
nice to
plug and
have
play.
the weight. I could probably save 200
Yeah.
pounds doing an Atlas over my 203 205, and it's triple stick, so you can still do you can do dig and all that stuff.
Yep.
It's a great mechanical linkage on there. It works sometimes when it feels like working, it'll work. So I'm not really good at doing digs yet.
Well, do
'Cause
you
it
have
doesn't want to work half the
do
time.
you have adjustable What do you when you mean it doesn't work?
So it's
Is it
just
sticky or not sticky
no,
enough? Or
the mechanical linkage is just it was set up by a 5-year-old. So everything's just
okay.
kind of wrong and loose. And I got to just change. I got to play with the linkage.
Gotcha.
So it's kind
I
of
can-
like my ex-girlfriend.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So this thing's been a slut for sure. Everyone's touched this. So I'm trying to make it a little better and give it kind of a better life and fix things that needed to be fixed. And I go through a lot of rigs. I've had a ton of them. So I'm just trying to keep this one for now. My friends keep giving me shit. So I'm trying to keep one buggy and then I'll build something else while I have this to wheel so I don't have any downtime. So
yeah, I will say the cable shifters and Curtis, who's been on a few times, recommended adjustable detents for the 205. And with the cable shifters and the adjustable detents, my 205 shifts like butter. I got, like I said, a little too much slop on my Eco Box. I got to tighten the detent on that because it pops out of gear only on like heavy downhill. But once that's all, I mean, it shifts like you'd expect. It's enough pressure that you feel the shift, but not enough that it's like you're yanking that thing and destroying the cable. So,
yeah, my 203 shifts flawlessly. It's the linkage to the 205. It's on a funky
the
angle.
mechanical stuff.
He's got little Heims in there, and he did. I don't know who touched it, so it's got to get fixed, and it's on the list of fixings. We have Roush coming up next week, so I'm not going too crazy on other stuff. So we have that coming up.
Fair.
We're doing the Memorial 4-day weekend down there, so I don't want to go too nuts. I'm waiting for the shaft to come in.
Yeah, just trying to fix it as it is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just fix
the stuff that you broke last weekend.
Exactly. Last weekend was my shakedown run. So we went out with Capaldo, and I said, "No red, Zach. No red." And we did one blue trail, and then we did Easy Street. And I said, "I said no reds." So my shakedown run was on Easy Street, which is a red at Field and Forest.
Oh, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, and it did it. So I can't complain about that. He was laughing the whole time. So it did it. It's just I'm a lot bigger than those guys. So Friday night I had a spade.
Zach's rig is cool as fuck, but it looks like it's a belly dragger on fucking some of those breakovers.
No, Zach's rig is badass. There's no if and but around.
Okay.
Zach can drive, and that rig is low. I think it's got like a 17 or 18-inch belly. I have a 25 and a half. Mine's huge. My trucky's got big boy belly. I like me. But that Zach's rig with the fabricated axles, it slides over everything. It's that rig it's nuts. That rig works well, and he's an extremely good driver. So he can use that and put that thing pretty much anywhere he wants to go. So I definitely like the smaller rigs. I've always had bigger rigs, so I can't say. I don't know why I do that to myself, but I do. And the 40s, and he's still I'm trying to catch up with him I got 43, so I still try to catch up with him because he's the race car. So it's just one day maybe I'll have one of those one day.
Yep. He'd be a cool guy to have on too.
Yeah, Zach's an awesome guy. So
he's had so many rigs.
Yeah, he's
gone through so many tow rigs and off-roading
Yeah.
rigs and
Yeah, he used to be
It'd be
big
cool
into
to pick his brain.
lowriders, and he had a bunch of like bag trucks, and he's had some cool shit.
yeah, he builds
Yeah.
awesome stuff.
Yeah, he does. I actually won that international in that raffle. So I
Oh.
bought two tickets, and I won that crew cab
Wait, the
international.
big white one?
No, the big
It
green
was
one.
green.
Green?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
I
was like a
don't know if
light
I've seen that
army
one.
green almost.
Yeah, it was like all the drab. I got $200. I bought 2 tickets on a whim, and
You won it for $200.
yeah, over $200, and
That's
I was
awesome.
up. I was buying a seat for the back of my Jeep. I bought a PRP like triple seat for the kids for the back, and my phone was blowing up, and I'm like, why are all these fucking people calling me? And my buddy Sean finally got through, and he's like, you won. I'm like, won what? And he's like, you won the international. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I didn't even know I didn't know the raffle was going on that day, and everyone was like, congratulations. I'm like, on what? And I'm like, oh shit, I won. So
Wow.
I had that for a little bit, not long. I think I had it for like 2 weeks.
And you sold it?
Yeah, I sold it to my friend Sean. So my friend Sean has that now.
Hey, I mean, half the time with the raffles, like that's my exact thought process would be like, oh, look at it, that's cool, and then be like, sell it and buy what I really want. Like,
so I sold that and I bought a diesel pickup, a crew cab Super Duty. So it's that's what I have now. I got a crew cab Super Duty, dually. It just tows better down the road.
Quick question: How much worse is registering it commercial compared to?
You don't have to register commercial in Mass as of the end of 2019. You can register residential as a dually. So my dually is registered as residential.
I'm getting a fucking dually then, because that was one of my biggest things. Is like I want to get an LMM 3500. Yeah. But like every single one of my friends, but like a few of them are Connecticut boys, and a few like I think actually even Colin said like, hey, don't get a dually because you have to register it as commercial. And I'm like, yeah, that would kind of suck, even though I do have a DOT. But
no longer. No longer the case in Mass. Yeah. So I got an old 7.3 dually, crew cab dually on 22.5s. I got it on the big truck wheels.
Old body or new body?
Super Duty.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Awesome.
So I have a slide-in camper that I put in the back, and then I pull the buggy behind that.
So now I've actually looked into a setup like that, but my only thing was like I was concerned with, do the older styles, they stop at the edge of the bed, right? So you can do a normal standard hitch and it doesn't affect it.
So my truck, I have an older Lance. It's a 97 Lance truck camper, and it's 9'10", so it hangs 2 feet past the back of my bed. The older campers, the Super Duty cabs are really tall. So I had to space the camper up 4 inches. And when I spaced the camper up, I actually made enough clearance. I have an excavator trailer to fit underneath with a pintle hitch. So I actually cleared by like 2.5 feet. I was thinking I had to do some crazy super hitch or make my own kind of hitch, and it actually ended up working. Field Forest was the first run on the new setup with the camper.
See, I was thinking about getting a 2-place, putting a bed camper on the front, like by the gooseneck, and then
that's the goal. That's my goal. That's what I'm gonna do next year. I'm gonna buy a gooseneck next year and put it on there. Yep.
My only thing is I'm trying to think of a way, because like my girlfriend also has a Jeep, and I have a bunch of buddies. Like, let's say we go down to Tennessee. There's no point in me bringing a camper. I might as well take Graham or something with the 2-place and run 2 Jeeps down.
So Zach had that exact setup. He had a 25-foot trailer, and he made it so the camper came off. So he had like jacks on the side and pick the camper up, drive the trailer
run right
out,
through.
Yep, and it'd run right through, and he'd leave the camper, so you could bring 2 rigs or you could bring 1.
I got to do that.
Yeah,
I got to. That's.
Yeah, and then when you go to Badlands, you bring the camper and a rig, so you have somewhere to stay. And after camping, we'll call it glamping. After glamping this weekend with the truck camper, I don't want to be in a fucking tent again.
I don't go into
that's for damn sure. I got heat, you got AC, you got a refrigerator, you got sink, bathroom. Shower,
that's hard to beat.
I'm not playing the game. Yeah, I'm not playing the game anymore in a fucking tent.
You don't want to sleep diagonal in the back of your rig?
No, I don't want to sleep in a sleeping bag. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a big guy in a sleeping bag. I just don't want to be fucking shoved inside there. So now you've got a queen size bed and you're comfortable, and got cold, so I put the heat on, and I'm like, I'm not going back to a fucking tent. that's just not happening.
My only thing is I'm gonna hate, because it's gonna be my only trailer. I gotta make a decision now if I want a single place or if I just want to say fuck it. and do a 2-place, I would hate having to go to like Ma Bell with a 32-foot trailer
No,
behind me,
you say that. I mean, I drive tanker for a living. So I
Mhm.
go into Boston every day. We do 2 to 3 loads a day out of Boston with fuel, and we have tanks at the shop that I fill. And you just get used to driving it. It's
Yeah.
I'll pull in the dunks or something like that. It doesn't make a difference. I'll pull it wherever it can physically fit. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
I'm fitting it. You get so used to having the truck and trailer. It's like pulling a 16-foot car trailer. You just get so used to it that you don't even know it's there.
So the only difference that's going to be huge for me is like I'm used to a bumper pull. Like my grandfather has a sedan delivery, 1955 sedan delivery, and I tow his trailer with it in it, and it's about a 26-foot trailer, so it's roughly close. I mean, that's an extra 6 feet. That doesn't really equate to much, but that's a bumper pull. If I'm going to be going the gooseneck, I'm actually interested on like how better it's going to be for actually towing.
You're never gonna tow a tag trailer behind you again.
Oh,
After you
no.
pull a gooseneck. It's the best experience. You will never ever go back to a regular car trailer. I promise you. As soon as you put a gooseneck behind that truck, and especially if it's a newer Duramax, and you will never ever go back. I'm telling you right now, you will love it. Yeah, you will love it, and it tows so much, and that's why I'm doing it. I'm just broke, so this year I'm gonna just make it happen with my trailer, and then sell my trailer at the end of the season and buy a gooseneck over the winter. And get like a 30-foot trailer and put the camper on the front, like you said, and my buggy on the back for next season.
See, that was my thing. Was I need to measure like a bed camper, because I've always had the idea of like, oh yeah, that'd be sick putting the camper on the gooseneck. Do you have to space them, or is that height from deck to top of?
Yeah, that's fine. So Zach's just sat on the deck, and then he made his own tie downs, and he had a 25-foot gooseneck, and it fit his rig in the camper, but it was tight. It was definitely a tight setup, so you could get away with it. But 2 rigs on a 25-foot trailer, like 2 Cherokees on there, would be tight.
I don't even think they'd fit.
Bumpers and a body and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It'd be pretty tight to shove 2 on there. So I'm gonna do a 30-foot just to be safe. And then
Just call me Cody.
Oh, what happened? Computer died?
No,
His internet
computer
died.
is totally
We were doing
fine.
good. You interjected. Nobody had to know that you disappeared. We were having great conversations with that.
Oh,
You could have
wait.
just popped back in and slid in like nothing happened. But you
Wait.
But then I
No.
wouldn't be Cody.
Yeah.
Graham, are you recording right now?
I'm recording. We're all
Oh, thank God, dude! I was like, oh fuck.
No,
we
he
record today.
texted
I'm
me
like,
and I was like, "Yep, I'm recording. We're good. Thank God I
so
started it."
I'm gonna just have to splice the 2 together.
No, I've been recording the whole time.
Oh, fucking man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Keep going. Keep going.
But yeah, I'm excited for that. I think it's gonna be. So wait, why were you saying going with a 30-foot to be safe, just to make sure that you have enough room with the camper and your rig?
Mine is gonna be when I pull the camper off and we go on far trips. I want to be able to fit 2 big rigs on there. So like mine, I got 118-inch wheelbase on mine, so mine's not too small. Most of my buddies are around 110 to 114, but if you throw a random full size or something on there, if someone has a bigger truck, then you're kind of screwed on the size. So I want to be able to tow whatever on there. That's why I want to do a 30-foot.
When I replace my current trailer, it's not going to be for a little while given life circumstances, but I'm definitely going with the 22-foot flat deck equipment trailer just for that exact reason right there. If I have to go and rescue my buddy with a Cummins, I don't want to be dealing with the lack of space or whatever.
It's tough to say though. Those fuckers are so expensive. Literally, I was looking at like a 12K 22-foot trailer for like an equipment trailer, because like I do like landscaping stuff. I've run machinery, so I was like, fuck it, I'll get an equipment trailer so that way later on in life I'll be able to haul equipment. It's like 10 grand for a fucking 14K like 20-foot trailer, or you can get a
the Appalachian was like 3,900 for that.
For what weight?
For a 12K.
That's not bad. I actually didn't even look into Appalachian. I was looking at other companies.
You should check out Appalachian. They're a little on the cheap side, and they use lion axles, which are Dexters, but by a different name.
See,
They're pretty down to fuck.
My somebody I know works for Hale Trucking, and they sell trailers, so that's who I'm gonna go through for mine. I got a pretty good little gig with them.
You kind of get what you pay for. If you cheap out on I have a cam trailer. It's an older 2007 Cam. It's a 12K, 18-foot excavator trailer. It's pretty heavy
Yep.
duty, and some of the Appalachians and stuff. No offense, and the big techs, and some of those are chintzy. So you got to be careful on some of those trailers.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even
Oh.
have dual axle brakes. Some of them are just one axle
Yep.
brakes.
So
I-
that's
So you
what
got
I
to be
like about
careful on those.
that's what I like about the Appalachians. Even the base model, which is what I got, is dual brake.
Yeah, it has to be dual brake. It's kind of pointless to have one brake on there, especially if you're pulling something in the 5,000+ pound range.
Ugh, that's the problem. Like, I can't afford to go and buy another trailer right now, but my rig is like rapidly starting to fucking outgrow my trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the problem.
he's like just on that line of that trailer hating its life with his rig on it. It's like,
Yeah, I got a 7K, so the trailer itself weighs 1,900 pounds and my Jeep weighs 5,100.
Yeah, so
I'm
you're
like,
yeah, you're right.
or
You're right there at the max.
5,150.
Yeah, you're right there at the max.
you know,
But-
what's you know what's crazy that I just saw? So you know how I forget who's moving down to Tennessee. Who's the one of the local guy? No, not you. The other gentleman there. He ran a shop. Walker running
Yep.
down. I saw in his Facebook that he had to weigh his U-Haul before he ran down there because in like New York and I think it was Virginia, they still require U-Hauls to weigh in.
Yeah, dude, they don't fuck around down there when it comes to that. You gotta roll across the scales if you're towing a trailer that's dual axle.
So even with us, like if we go down to Tennessee, we're still gonna have to roll through the weigh station.
It depends on what time of day you're going through there, but yes.
No, but you get on the commercial versus residential as well. So this is
Correct.
where you're going to get into a gray area where I have my Class A CDL. You get into a gray area. I again being a truck driver, I wouldn't pull into a weight station with my pickup. So I don't give a shit what it says. I drive right by. So
Just
if-
Indian running
No,
it, just
it's
fucking going.
a residential truck
Yeah.
with my buggy on the back. Fuck off. I'm not pulling into a weight station to be a hero. I'm driving right by. You're a regular average Joe towing your stuff.
Okay.
You know what I
'Cause,
mean?
like,
So yeah, if you were a CDL guy or a commercial, or if you had DOT numbers on your truck,
Okay.
yes. But no, me and my crew cab dually. I'm driving right. We're going to Kentucky in a couple weeks. The end of June, we're going to Harlan, Kentucky. The club's going down there for a run.
it's awesome.
I will not stop at any way stations. I will.
The
drive
only
right
reason
by.
that I bring that up is because I was down there just, last week and I stopped in at a gas station. I was talking with one of the sheriffs down there and he's like, yeah, no, if you're towing, I think he said it was like over 5,000 pounds in dual axle, we want you to stop and get weighed. We don't care if you have a gun
Yeah.
sitting next to you. Like, you can have a fully loaded AR with a 60-round drum. We don't care about that. We care about getting your trailer weighed.
Yeah, no, don't even.
I would-
bother with it.
Personally, I would trust an idiot with a gun more than I would trust an idiot overweighted driving down the road or overloaded driving down the road. Honestly, like, dude, the
Yeah.
amount of
But look-
stupid people that I've seen just like, it's ridiculous. The stupid
Dude.
people I've seen running around.
So, like, not to go too crazy and way off topic here, but I was coming back and I watched a dump truck go rolling past me with his, the gate not fucking locked down.
Yeah,
And, like, I'm watching him just casually, like, dumping gravel. So,
that's why he's a dirt dummy. So he's a
Yeah.
dirt dummy for a reason. That's why he hauls dirt.
oh, no, just
Yeah.
wait. This story gets far fucking worse. So, like, I'm just casually in the fucking, fucking right lane. I've got the cruise control set at like 70 and two bikers go just casually past me. And I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever. Fucking the tail gunner on the fucking group of bikers fucking hit one of the spots of gravel that I swear to God it was that other fucking dump truck that fucking dumped his bike right in front of me. I had to fucking cut over like to avoid fucking hitting him. He fucking flipped the whole bike over him. And I had to go over there and I slammed on the brakes, put on the hazards, and ran across fucking I-95 at rush hour to pull the bike off of this fucking asshole.
Yeah,
Damn.
got to be
Fucking-
careful. A lot of the CDL guys now, and everyone gets their CDL because they think it's it's a good job, and 90% of these people shouldn't be on the fucking road. They
Yeah.
don't care. They don't pay attention. They just get their CDL to, oh, I want a job driving a
To make
truck.
money,
And
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
CDL makes
they
money.
have you got no reason. No, you should not be on the road. There's a lot
Well,
of
my-
people, they should not be on the road.
I think
See-
that's a bit of a southern problem too, because there's a little bit of a lack of fucks going on down south with that
Yeah.
shit.
And also
And then-
the trucking companies that love to do their like 30,000 sign-on bonus, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Then they get the fucking dummies that have no idea who are like, oh, 30,000, yeah, but they're like, yeah, it's 30,000 after 10 years of staying with us, and you can't have this or this or this or this or this. They don't. Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous.
If you have a Class A CDL with an automatic endorsement, you shouldn't be on the road anyways. So all these guys now with the automatic endorsement, yeah. So if you take a CDL test nowadays in an automatic truck, you get an automatic endorsement, meaning you can't drive a standard truck. So you get it. Yeah, that's a thing. It's a fucking thing. That's a thing. Because these guys can't drive standards, and they stick them in these freight trucks for Walmart and Swift, and that's why you see all these accidents. And these trucks are fucking automatics. So that's why all these guys are crashing trucks. If you can't shift, you don't belong on a big truck.
That's ridiculous. It doesn't even take that much. I've driven around in yard trucks with stepmom used to work for a yard. And I used to play around in the yard trucks, and even those are standard. I had no idea what I was doing. I could put it into first gear and just dump the clutch. They would lug, and then it'd go like the thing would just move on its own practically. Holy hell!
It's not rocket science to drive a truck. I mean, I do.
Well, in a higher gear.
So
right?
I mean, it's
going.
it's not rocket appliance and all that.
No,
but like
no.
to add insult to injury, there. Fucking Morgan, my girlfriend, has managed to put my Jeep into first gear and managed to like do the clutch thing to get it into second and get that thing up to almost 30 miles an hour.
Wait, you can get 30 in second?
Not.
Oh, I guess
not
you've got
quite
40,
that
so
fast,
you can do
but
it.
I'm fucking. I'm
in
probably
fourth gear, going
embellishing a
30.
little bit, but like, she also wound it out, like
Okay.
right next to tap and rev limiter. So whatever that speed is, but still, like.
It's my wife. My wife drove my Tacoma on 40s all the time. She'd take the kids and she'd go take it all the time. There was that was 6 speed, so there was no she never had any problems with it.
Okay, while we're back on the Toyota, I meant to ask it earlier, but we got sidetracked as usual. The Grizzly lockers, you drove them on the road. Did they have an excessive amount of, like, what's the word?
Play?
It's slop before they lock up.
No, have you ever ran it? It's the same as the Detroit.
See, no, the thing is, I have a Detroit, and my Detroit has like a quarter turn on the drive shaft before it locks into, one way or the other.
It's almost
normal?
the exact
Okay.
same. It's almost the exact same thing with the Grizzly. I noticed it's quieter.
Okay.
But I've only ran old Detroits, so I can't say about having a new Detroit.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine's relatively new, but the
Grizzly
slop
locker
is
was
killing
brand
me. Like, I mean, maybe I'm just
Well,
an absolute road snob, but like
and-
on the road, if you're taking a turn and you get, it's probably partially the gearing in the thing too that makes it that much more dramatic. But if I'm in a turn
I
and I
do
try
think
to
it's a little
change,
bit of the gearing because
mean-
you got 538s in there, so you have to put a decent amount of twist into it. Like even my Spartan has probably like 3/16 or like an eighth of a turn before I start feeling it if I go to lock my front end. My rear, on the other hand, welded, I don't have that problem.
yeah.
So
well, I mean,
the Taco was welded for about a year before I put the Grizzly.
and then
locker
you
in
get
the back.
bored of the chirping around every turn.
Well, it's just the fact you got to buy 40s because I was driving 65, 70 miles a day. I was fucking killing those tires.
Wearing them down. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just killing them because you're getting off the highway, so they're hot. You're turning, and then you're parking in your spot. And,
Yeah.
and that was the Taco was it was a 128-inch wheelbase. So it was a big bitch. So
And
it
you
was
live in
long.
Mass?
She
You
didn't-
drive around with the Taco and 40s and nobody gave you shit?
No one gave me shit.
Nice. Okay, well, I'll
No,
just
no
go to
one gave
40s on the Cherokee.
Yeah, so,
on
I
the
used to
Fold.
go 40s anyways because
Yeah, that's just what cool
doesn't
people.
work.
Yeah, I mean, with the 50 though, I'm trying to keep that 30 spline inner shaft alive. I don't know.
Leave the 37s for the JK guys.
Okay.
And run the 40s on the chair car. So
Sounds
get those
good.
on there. Yeah,
We'll
it's
change
not
it.
that much of a jump. It's not that much of a jump. And
No.
you already have the 538s, and you got a fucking doubler. So
Yep.
I don't want any excuses out of you. I'm not
It's
going
too
forward.
much for the 37s.
Yeah,
37s are too
yeah.
low.
Graham, do you want to go into a little bit of what we were talking about? If you want to discuss that, I'm open to talking about it.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
So, um, it looks like I'm gonna be moving due to my grandparents. They're just getting old. They need help. I gotta clear out some stuff up here, so I'm probably gonna end up taking another week off of work. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna work on my Jeep too, just to shuffle some stuff down to South Carolina for them and whatnot. But it looks like I might be taking a job in Tennessee because it's 4 hours away from them compared to
12,
right now, no, dude, like if
14.
I'm being honest, that was probably a 14-hour road trip down there or back up from there. So, like, my mother and all that can't fucking go down there, and it's kind of a shitty situation, and it's looking like I'm gonna be the person in the family that has to help them. So, if I'm gonna be 4 hours away and whatnot, I was talking to Graham and I was like, hey man, do you want to pick up my crawlers or something? I'll make you a deal. I want to get the sheet metal work in the back of my Jeep done. And that to me was worth more than the tires are worth. And it saves me from having to bring them down there. So, and like where I'm going, I'm not going to have the one or the 220. I'm going to have 140 or 110 volt. So we were talking about,
Yeah. So,
the
long
tires
story
and
short, he's basically offloading everything of value at his shop to me, and I'm trading him my shit, my lesser welder, and in exchange for storing the Jeep and finishing the sheet metal work in the back, and maybe
yeah,
fuel cell stuff,
fuel
depending on how
cell.
that goes. So I'll
It's
take it.
looking like
It's a trade
because
deal
of
of
when
trade
it's
deals.
coming in. It's looking like because when that's coming in that it might have to get winched onto the trailer. So,
You don't
you
think you'll
know.
get a fuel system set up?
It's looking like I'm gonna look at 2 weeks worth of time before that, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna have 2 weeks of time before I have to go and help I'm not
Fair.
sure if I'm gonna have the time because like I gotta help them out and shit. So I'm
Yep.
just up against the company that I'm looking at working for. They want me down there in a month, maybe a month and a half, and all the other shit that I got going on. I'm gonna be lucky to get it back on its own weight and with the control arms and everything painted up just so it doesn't rust out on me.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was talking to Jacob already, and he's on board. We just need to cut up my truck bed that's in our other spot that's sitting back there, and then we got to get the scrap guys to take all the scrap that we and the neighbors have dumped in the spot that my truck bed is sitting in, and then it'll have a space. We have
You
extra
know,
spaces, but just getting that other
yeah,
spot
and
cleared
like
would be
I
nice.
feel really bad about fucking just dumping stuff on you guys, but at the same time, it's kind of like,
Oh no,
ugh,
we're well
fuck.
versed in sheet metal work, and we'll even probably I'll get you some 18 gauge instead of the 16 gauge, because fuck trying to shape 16 gauge. Uh, it's not ideal. We'll make it
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, I mean, and like I've got faith in probably you and Colin are the only people that I would be like, yeah, here's my rig. I'm
It,
sorry, I
it's
gotta
definitely
go.
humbling, when somebody who I know who can, hold his own, do his own work. It's like, hey, I'm doing all this shit. Can you take my Jeep and finish it for me? Like, that's to me, like if I was gonna do that, I'd have to be somebody I really trusted to do the work and do it correctly. Like Colin doing my bumper in the front, right? Everybody was like, build your own bumper, build your own bumper, and I was like, well, I could, but it would probably just be a copy of Colin's. I'd rather pay Colin to build it because he did such a good job on his, and I like the look, right? So
Yeah, and
I get
like
it.
I get in
part
the
of,
sorry.
sorry, part of me going down there was I'm negotiating with the company that I am applying to that I can have the week of Roush off. I'm taking a whole week off. I want that thing ready to go for then. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know with my current circumstances and the other tasks that I'm getting tasked with that I'm going to be able to do it. But I
Hmm.
trust you guys. And it's like, oh, swapping out a set of fucking axle shafts. Okay, I can do that in the driveway, even if it doesn't, have everything yet. But going
It's hard
through
to.
and rebuilding the whole ass end of my Jeep for the sheet metal side of things, dude, I don't even know where to buy metal down there. I know where to buy bullets, but I don't know where to buy metal.
Oh, metal's pretty easy to find. You just look up, metal, and you find a spot, right? It might not be
Yeah.
the best spot, but then you get word of where they get. Like, I, I mean, I don't where I am, I don't get great metal deals, but the spot in Woburn that I go to get metal, they're pretty reasonable guys. It's a chain metal market spot, but they were like, I was talking to them about how I usually get tube from a buddy in Connecticut, and he's like, oh, you get it from this yard or this yard, and I was like, oh, I mean, well, now I know where the cheap ones are because you guys literally work in the business and know where the cheap metal yards are, I'm sure. Uh, right? But obviously, I'm not going to Connecticut to buy metal. It's just you happen to be near it, or K-pop is
You
near it,
know,
and we get the metal from that.
I'm gonna miss that shit so much because it's looking like I'm gonna be signing paperwork probably tomorrow. So
Wow.
fucking I'm gonna miss the shit out of that, and like I appreciate that, all this shit's going on because like the podcast keeps me fucking local, and I'm gonna every year, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be at Roush, and we're gonna start planning more Windrock trips because fuck it, we're gonna go party at Windrock. And I'm keeping my backyard built membership as a I'm gonna call it legacy member for as long as the club's gonna let me keep it. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's worth it every year.
It'd be cool for
You
you to
know?
start like a chapter down there almost. Like granted you'd have to I don't know how it'd work because of the being NEA, New England Off-Road Association. But
I don't
Well,
think it's gonna work.
the club can be, I mean, maybe I'm out of line, but I feel like the club can be NEA associated and also be bigger than just Massachusetts and or New England, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah, that'd
And
be cool.
like, you know, it'll be awesome when I can say, yo, guys, like, come on down. We're going to set up a bunch of tents in my backyard, and then we're going to Windrock, and we're going to make a week out of this. So
I
I'm
want
going
to
to
go to
take a
Windrock
week
so
off.
bad.
Dude, I
We're
want
going
to
to go
so
to
bad.
Harlan, too. Dude,
After,
Harlan is fucking 2.5 hours away from Windrock. If you're already making a 14-hour
Oh
trip, that's
yeah.
2.5 hours.
So the only thing is you need to be friends with your fucking neighbors, mister. You be nice. Because if we're rolling deep with like 10 trucks or something with Jeeps in the back, they're gonna fucking hate us. So you gotta be
you
nice.
gotta butter them up for that week of the year
Well,
where we're all down
I
there.
was down there and I was like, we were looking at houses because we were down there. And so like I was like, hey guys, we stopped in the neighborhood of one of the places that we're looking at, and they're like, oh, you guys are coming down from Connecticut, this, that, the other thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm huge into motorsports. Oh, that's super cool. We got dragsters in the barn out there. And
Oh
I'm like,
yes.
okay, you guys are cool. So what are you guys running? Oh, we're running a Blue Point 376 with
Oh,
the
perfect.
supercharger. And I'm like, huh,
Yeah,
if
we've got
I
a
end
buddy
up
who works
buying
at
this
Blue Point.
place, you're gonna fucking love me because I'll be able to help you with your tuning and shit.
Yeah, we'll just call up county and we'll get him on the horn. He'll fix your motor when you put the wrong transmission on it or change it from carburetor to fuel injection. He loves
So,
that.
so quick thing, you guys were talking about before how like Grammy was saying how it was humbling that like one of your like respected not colleagues but like respected friends in the off-road community came to you. It's got to be cool in the other sense too for like Luke watching me and Richie like rigs that were kind of like granted where mine's literally almost the exact same thing as the Barry. Like we know this, it's literally just following the same footsteps, so we kind of knew it was gonna work. But like Richie's where he's trying different things and then Luke just being able to like watch us do dumb shit and be like, hey, don't break, don't break, don't. Oh my god, he didn't break! Woohoo! Like it must be such a cool thing. And then now like you'll be
Actually, you
able
got
to.
that backwards. I'm
Oh,
like,
you
come on,
got.
break it. Come on,
Uh,
break it. You guys are gonna come on. You know what, motherfucker? He just made that fucking A. You know?
and it's I had that same mindset like there was a few weekends ago. I think I might have said this already, but like my sister was driving my Jeep and she was like, "Oh, I don't want to break it. I don't want to break it." I'm like, "No, please do." I was like, "It's just a good excuse for me to put more money into it." I'm like, "Go and fucking blow something up. It'll be worth it." Like, but either way, that's probably gonna be cool for you to be able to like see like Luke's Jeep and him being like, "Oh, I'm warm in the wintertime because everything is enclosed." You'd be like, "Ha, I did it good." Like that'd be pretty cool for you guys.
Well, one of the cool parts is I've got a friend of mine that moved down there before I did,
Yeah.
and he's got a Toyota, and he was like, dude, when you get down here, can you help me with a solid axle swap? And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Do you want to link it? Are we going Leaf Springs? Just tell me what I'm walking into here. And he's like, I don't know. I want like 35s or 37s on toy axles. And I'm like, all right, we can just do it. Like, so, and it's a really cool thing for me to watch your rig and Kish's rig out on the trail because it's like, I know it's going to work because I've worked on something very similar and, we copied what I did on that and it works. I'm sure that Chris has fucking had some situations where he's helped other people build stuff or he's been in the same situation where he's had people that know a little bit more than he does help him or vice versa. I mean,
that's-
Yep,
if I
that's what we
remember,
do.
That's
if I
the
remember
coolest
right,
part
you're
of
doing,
the whole.
oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that's the coolest part of the whole thing, right? Is it's the knowledge transfer and just flip flopping of you build this, you help me with this, yada yada, right? Sort of deal.
Yeah,
I
it's the
love that.
community. It's the community of off-roaders. They're all great people, and every time I leave the sport, I come back. So there's no, I'll probably be
Yeah,
Yeah,
here for
didn't
life.
do something
you're
really
stuck once you
fucking.
get in it. Like it's just everybody's so cool. Like
It's
once
like
you.
a herpes fucking infection.
It is. It is. I tell people don't like it because it's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So don't like it. Don't look at it.
Eh,
It's
you know
expensive.
what though? It's about the same price as being into guns, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, you know.
Eh, it could
So
definitely be more. I don't know.
it
I
can
mean,
be more, but it can be less. It depends on what you're playing with.
yeah.
Like
I
I
mean,
was
I can't
talking
remember the
about.
last
How
gun
much
that
you
I
want to
saw up
rough
on
it?
Facebook for 45 grand, where you could go on Rock Crawlers Classified and see one every other day. You know?
No, man. Today I went through and blew fucking almost $800 in ammo. So
That's
Yeah, I mean,
aggressive.
you could blow that much money on a rock crawler easy.
yeah, I've blown fucking way more
Hey,
than
with the
that
price
just
of
from a
tube now?
fucking bad fucking clutch drop. But I wanted to ask fucking Chris about this. Weren't you the guy that was working on that sick LJ? It was on narrowed Super Duty tons or something along those lines?
I re-geared the supercharged one, the white one.
Yeah,
That
that I think that's
was
the one I'm talking
yeah,
about.
John Dishon. He had that was a supercharged '06. Had a 4.6 stroker with a charger on. I think it's like almost 500 horse or something like that. It's something crazy.
Wow.
Wait, it's a stroker with the supercharger?
Yeah. Yep.
That's
It's
fucking
a
cool.
supercharger. Yep.
That's
So,
cool.
and he ran. It's got coilovers front and rear, and built. They actually built Rubicon 44s. So he had
Jesus
30,
fuck.
30, he had 37s on it for a while, and then he went a little crazy and he put 40-inch trap stickies on it, and for some reason it blew a ring gear. I don't know why. But he blew a rear ring gear, so I re-geared that for him in the back. That was the last time I worked on it, was doing the gears in the back of that. He had 538s.
You had fucking LJ coming through on fucking what was it? It was coilovers with narrowed Super Duty tons, or am I thinking of someone else? I might be
No,
thinking of
no,
someone
you're right.
else.
That's Sean's. That's Sean's LJ.
That
You're
was
thinking,
fucking dope. That
yeah.
thing was
So
so low. Oh my
so
god.
Sean is building that now. That's his street rig. So that's a '04 or '05. That's an '04. LJ narrowed super. Yeah, that's narrowed '05 Super Duties.
Okay, I was gonna say.
39. Yeah, 39 and a half inch rocks, and that's also coilovers front and rear.
Damn.
I
So
geared that 538s with Grizzly lockers. Actually, no, that's got zip lockers. A zip in the front and a Grizzly in the back.
so
Why
where
would you
I'm
do
looking
that?
at
I would do it. I guess you wouldn't do it the other way, but why
Yeah,
would
you
you?
want to be able
If
to
you're gonna
unlock
do a
that.
zip locker in the front, why not just do another
no,
zip
I
locker in the
would put
back?
the fucking zip locker in the back.
And
If it
No,
yeah, you
I can
say that. It's
understand
not
putting it
bad
in the
to
front.
drive.
No, actually, you're right. Yeah, just it's locking hubs. Why would you bother putting the nice locker in the front?
Because the goal is for a street rig. Maybe you want to use 4-wheel drive.
Oh, in the
maybe you can
snow,
drive in the
yeah.
snow. So maybe you want to
That's
be
a
able to
good
drive
point.
it.
That's a good
So
point.
you got to think of it.
well,
It's literally it's 4-liter now. I'm trying to convince him to put a 6-liter in it. So I think we're gonna put a 6.0 in it.
See, but it would be cool. And so this is a different rig than the supercharged one, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I was gonna say because it would be sick if he did meth injection because then he could just call it his whiny little bitch on meth. It'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, you could,
I mean, like,
yeah, you could do that. Yep.
like that's something that like I've always wanted to do that just for that tagline and be like, oh yeah, it's a whiny little bitch on meth, and then be like, the fuck, dude? Like, what are you talking about? Like, meth injection, supercharging, and then get the gears turning.
Yeah, it is
So-
cool to hear that the root supercharger whine and an LJ on 40s. It's a pretty badass
Yeah.
Sick.
to drive down the street.
So,
Like when I was taking it for a rip, it's pretty cool to hear the wee going down the road.
You by
That's
any
pretty cool.
chance know a guy named Austin Pumphrey?
No.
So this dude did LJ on 40. I think he's on 42 radials, MTRs.
Hold on. To clarify, it's actually a TJU, and LJ is not a real body tag for it.
Everybody always calls them LJs though.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Normal.
Just for overall
Long Jeep.
like correctness. Yeah.
No,
But
no, I
TJU,
get what you're
it is.
saying, but I'm also going off of what they call it on the door tag.
Yep.
So fucking this dude's got a rig on 42s with a 6-liter, and he daily drives it in Pennsylvania. I think he's out of Pennsylvania. He was friends with the dude that we wheeled with at Roush, Jamie, with the
Oh,
TJ
okay.
buggy.
Of course.
He was the guy that was sitting in the passenger seat.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that dude is fucking legit. Some of the stuff he works on is like skunk works level fucking bullshit. Like
Nice.
this thing looks like if someone scaled a Jeep up 1.25 in MS Paint. It's fucking wild because he managed to get all the dimensions right, so it just looks like a bigger TJ.
We gotta get Jamie on at some point. That'd be a riot if we
The
ever got it.
problem with Jamie is he's out in the fucking boondocks
He's
of
out in the sticks,
Pennsylvania.
yeah.
Like I literally drove past the area he lives in on the way home because we went through Gettysburg because I wanted to stop and look at some of the Civil War monuments.
Yeah, it's a cool spot.
He's out by there if I remember correctly. The internet out there, he's lucky if he has 3G on his cell phone and fucking dial up. So that's the reason we haven't had him on yet.
At
He's
some
like, if I
point.
had better internet, man, I would absolutely hop on there. But I think we should I gotta ask this question. So like I described my rig as the fat chick in high school that gives really good head, maybe like an extra 20 pounds. What's the rig that fits that description for you? Chris.
We said
Well, I
Like-
mean,
he likes
mine would
big
be
rigs. All of his rigs
yeah,
are fat.
all my rigs are big. So like my Toyota now would be that. She wouldn't be 20 pounds. She'd be like 80 pounds overweight here. Maybe. She'd be like,
like
it should
it's
be
that
like a,
chick
you know-
that you learned on in high school that treated
Yeah,
you
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
all right, and you were like
Yeah,
friends
so
with her parents.
that would be my rig now. Like that would be my rig now because it's been a slut and everyone's had it. So it's
And you're
a little
fixing it,
overweight.
yeah.
I'm fixing it. It's a little overweight. It's ugly. And it just kind of does the job. So at the end of the
It
day,
sucks dick
it's gonna
really good.
real good, real good.
Real good.
Oh,
It does its damn job real
yeah,
good.
Yeah, it's all about the cock, and it does good. So it just it would definitely be my Toyota now. That would definitely be the rig that would
Had to
that I
ask.
would-
And
Yep,
I think I'm gonna steal this one right out of Cody's fucking quiver, if you will. If you had to pick a street tire, what would it be?
Thank you. I forgot to mention that. I actually appreciate that.
So I know Mike Craig would want me to say razors.
All right.
So I'm gonna throw a loop, a little wrench in here, and I'm gonna say the Pro Comp mud terrains. I ran those on my
Hey,
Taco,
I
and
can get
fucking loved
behind
them.
that.
I
I
love
can
them.
get behind that because they're made by Maxxis and they're the same compound as the Trep Radial.
Yep.
I swear to God, you're giving me the
No,
finger. but-
he's cheating because they're the exact same fucking tire compound as the fucking crawlers. He's cheating. It's the
Not
same
the
thing.
crawlers, the
the
Razors and
Razors.
the
It's all the
Trep
same.
Radial.
They're the same tires, just with different shapes.
Cheater. But no, those I mean I've known a few people who run those and they're a great tire.
Yeah,
I
and they're
can-
cheap. The price point was good. I think they were like $400 a tire. And Pro Comp does the buy 3 get 1 free all the time. So I ran those with race lines on the Taco, and I loved them.
what size for 400? Because I know back in the day when I was looking for
40s,
35s,
right?
40s, yeah.
my 35s were almost 350 a tire. So
Yeah,
I don't.
but the 40s is something cheap. They were like 400 or 400 higher. They were, I don't know why they were cheap, but the 40s weren't bad. I got them from
Wow.
4 Wheel Parts. They would
Wow.
always do that sale, and yeah, they were like around the 400 range. And I bought 4 of them for mine. I loved them. They were good in the road. They were good in the snow. They were good in the wet. I had no complaints.
Yeah.
So
I'll
now
definitely be
oh,
I'll definitely be buying more tires through 4 Parts because I can get the what's it? Their warranty on it. I had a
Tire
brand new tire.
warehouse.
I didn't get the warranty. Brand new tires. I bought 2 new ones. My other ones weren't too bad. I threw them on the back, new ones on the front. Popped one immediately at Roush, right? Like just on stupid shit. It was a flat rock. Popped the
That's right.
tire.
You
Yeah, I know.
also
There's
were
more
playing a-
circumstances. Yeah. There's
You don't
more
get
to the
to
story
say
than that. But
because all you did was the same thing I did in the same fucking line, just with a little less hatred and less tire pressure.
yeah. Well, the less tire pressure is what killed it. But if I had
Speaking of
spent the
which,
$30 more, I could have gotten a free ass tire, and I didn't do it. So
I have to ask a dumb question, but you picked up those rims off of Josh, right?
yep, I have them.
Would you be pissed if I held on to an extra? Because I've got one to replace my fucked up rim on that Nitto that got all fucking diced up. So if I give you those stickies, would you be pissed if it came with 3 rims? I'll take the one that I painted gold as my spare.
No, that's fine. I can just swap
Okay.
the IROC. I have 9. Yeah, I have 9 rims right now, and 5 of them aren't fucked up, and only 4 of them
Okay.
are getting rock rings. So
All right, I wanted to ask before I gave you the tires because, like, if you needed that, I would take one of your fucked up ones for a spare. But I've got right now 9 rims also sitting at the shop. So I need to have one good one to put in that new Nitto, and then I'm gonna have to get a spare.
well, it sounds like I
So
have to go 40s, but they've got to be DOT 40s. So what's gonna
I
happen?
mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna
We
get
already
give,
established
Yeah.
you're going for it.
So what's
I don't
gonna
know why we're
happen?
talking about
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
So
So what's gonna
well,
happen? I'm gonna
Chris,
fix up the rock
Chris,
rings
here's the
on the
thing.
new.
He could go for another set of, or he could pick up 2 more 37s.
No.
And he's gonna have
The
a set
dream's
of
coming true. No,
$4.
you've made the dream come true. I'm gonna get a little trailer. I'm gonna put my my reds on the trailer. I'm gonna drive my Jeep to the trail. I got my trailer with my red tires. I'll put my red tires on. I'll put the DOTs in the trailer, drive, and then I'll put the DOTs on at the end of the day. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
I mean, it makes
Well-
sense though. If you get there early enough, it doesn't affect anybody.
Yeah.
And we always bullshit when the day's done.
Not
So-
only that, but he could also pick up like a 6x12. They don't weigh that much. So you could put the tires on the front of it, and then when you're done, you could throw a tent on it with the tires stacked next to it and have your like nice flat place to fucking sleep every fucking night when we're at Roush.
Such a good
It'd be
idea.
a fucking riot.
That's such
We'll
a
see.
good
We'll
idea.
see. It's definitely opened up some interesting options.
Wait,
but
I know an idiot with an overlanding trailer that he doesn't need now because he now has a buggy.
yeah, but I don't think it's gonna fit 440s
Oh.
in it.
Well, you do have a welder.
And we do know how to use metal. Yeah. Or a welder.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but I definitely want to set it up for 40s. It may not happen till I put the coilovers in the front, because then I can bump
Yeah.
stop it and set it up correctly for the 40s. We'll see. We'll see.
You know, it's gonna be fucking wild when the group gets back together at fucking Windrock and Graham shows up with his little fucking trailer. Chris shows up with his fucking almost semi fucking 6.0. Just like, yo, I'm here to fucking party.
Well, to Roush, it would probably make more sense to just split the tires up between your asshole friends with their trucks, because it'll just be annoying to have a little ass trailer behind you.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
because most of the adults have trucks and trailers.
Yeah,
So you can
yeah.
just, I don't know.
Only
The
the...
tow pig to tow them down.
Oh, I've got a truck. I
Yeah,
have no
I
place to
mean-
put a trailer. I have literally no place. Like,
Well, if I get a two
you
place, we
have to
might.
have friends, so you can just throw.
Yeah.
I
it
mean, I do
there.
have friends, but they don't have trailers yet.
Yeah, well, so you put your trailer at their house.
Just buy my trailer, Graham. Just buy
See,
my.
I hate doing that. I hate relying on other people to do shit for me, which is why I've always driven my Jeep. Is just I don't want to have to deal with, somebody else has the tools, somebody else has the space, right? I don't want to rely on anybody else. Fuck it. My Jeep is
Yeah, but there
perfectly
is
drivable.
something to be
I'll go
said
beat the
about.
shit out of it on, you know, blacks and some reds and drive my ass home and be totally fine. Like,
But there
Then
is
just,
something
how
to
I've
be
then
always
just
said
do a
about.
operated.
40-inch street tire then. Do a 40-inch
Exactly.
middle like he has, or a
Yeah.
40-inch whatever
Sorry.
razor. Or
Sorry.
whatever
Not
you
the
wanna do.
nittos. I'm not doing the nittos. If I do anything, it'll be the trips. The 40-inch
Yeah,
trips.
so run a 40-inch trap and call it a day. You don't have to run the stickies. You could also get a trailer and put the stickies on it, trailer where you want to go, and then
Yeah.
when you come home, put the 40s back on it and drive it.
That's what's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
And my buddy does have a trailer that we will eventually, have a space for to use, and it will be used. But
Or just
it's
buy
it's just the
mine.
logistics, right? I'm not in a position personally where I have a space to store all my shit.
Oh,
I have three
yeah.
cars. I have three vehicles. I've got the Cherokee, I've got the J20, and I've got a truck. And I can't store the trailer anywhere. Like I've got my truck at my parents' house, the other vehicle at my buddy's shop, and I drive the other one. Like I'm stretching myself too thin as it is. So we'll see. We'll see. If I get my own
I give
place,
you
I can actually
credit on
fucking
that. I'm looking at picking up a Vic when I get down there, cause they got a lot of them down there for a daily.
Mhm.
But I totally get it. Like we're looking at getting rid of the Trailblazer when we move, so she can pick up like a Subaru or something along those lines. It's just getting a little.
Why would you get a Subaru? Sorry,
Um,
gotta ask. Like new Subaru,
the
old Subaru? Like,
newer Subaru when we move down there, because it's just that like
Get a Lexus.
they don't have that bad of winters, but I want something where I can have at least all-wheel drive, because like if I'm being honest, I don't trust her in the snow.
Get
yeah,
a
but there's no
Lexus.
snow down there, is there?
So
There's we're looking at moving into the Blue Ridge Mountains, and we're looking at moving into a high point on them.
I still
So
don't think you
there's a
get that
little
much
bit
snow
of
in
snow.
Tennessee.
there's still snow and there's no fucking prep.
No,
Yeah,
they don't
and it
prep.
melts.
difference.
You
There's no
get like a little bit of
like,
snow and everybody freaks the fuck out. Yeah, I do know
Correct.
that.
Where we're looking at moving gets about 18 inches a year, compared to Connecticut or Massachusetts, where you're looking at like maybe 36 to 38, maybe 40.
Okay.
But
So
honestly,
there's still a little bit.
the only reason why I'm even saying a Lexus is because the interiors are way nicer. B, they're Toyota, so they're fucking reliable as hell. They're cheap to maintain.
Honestly,
And
we
we
were
all-
also looking at the RAV4.
Incredible vehicle, and the reason why is because Lexus actually has a very similar all-wheel drive system to the Subarus, where it's a real all-time four-wheel drive, and they use friction plates in the differentials and the transfer case to actually allow for proper like all-wheel drive driving, where most all-wheel drives nowadays are
I'll keep that in mind, because I'm going to be paying for it, because like, and I'm not saying that to shit on her.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
I mean,
that
it
like
just-
when we
yeah,
move, I'm going to be the sole breadwinner for a little while until she can find something to do down there.
Mhm.
But like I said, with the shit going on with my grandparents, there's just no way that it's looking like I'm gonna get out of it, and either I'm gonna end up running out of vacation time and running out of sick time in Connecticut, or I'm gonna have to move. So, sorry, Chris. I know that you were fucking brought on to talk about your shit too, but
Yeah, this has been a long one though.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
So let's see. We've covered what your first impressions on F&F was, the coolest rig you've got, which that rig, by the way, that Toyota that you've got, I will always think of that whenever I fucking see it as the assault weapon because of those bonkers.
Yep.
And now that it's on 43 SXs, it's still an assault weapon. It's just a little bit more fucking violent.
It's a little more tamed, down. I don't know if that's tamed.
I don't know if that's quite a I don't know if that's quite tame. That's like going from a fucking semi-auto AR
Oh, I
to a
don't know.
full auto AR.
The boggers have a look, right?
They
I'm
got a
pretty sure
look to
your
them.
Facebook profile is still the boggers on
Yeah,
it,
the
and that thing just
boggers.
looks
Yep.
it looks badass. I don't
It
know.
did.
I haven't.
It looked the part, but it didn't
It
drive the
didn't
part.
drive the part. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No.
So,
Again, I did reel it a while on the boggers, but it wasn't working.
you
Oh,
know,
I've seen this photo a few times of this rig.
yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
even shared on Beat Not Babied, if I remember correctly.
Probably.
Also, I have to say one of the proudest moments was that moment where I got that picture of my XJ fucking half in the air and Beat Not Babied was like, yo, check this guy out. So that was pretty cool. We covered what your favorite rig has been so far. I gotta ask, what's the tow rig? Because I'm just going through and naming
Oh,
shit we
well,
already talked
we
about.
already went into this, and you were
Oh,
gone.
I'm
Yes, your internet
terribly
died.
sorry. Could I get a quick
So, yeah,
refresher?
It's a 2001 Super Duty crew cab dually.
7.3?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, 7.3. Yep.
What
Fucking
else?
bulletproof motors. Let's see. We covered the street tire. Favorite sticky. I'm gonna guess it's the 43 SX because that's what you're running.
So no,
But
I'm
that
50
might
50
also
on
be
that.
your rig. That
So
might
that's
also be
50
your rig.
I wanted 42-inch traps, and if you look at the message back and forth with me and Go Forth, it was only a couple $100 difference. It was actually cheaper to do the traps, the 42-inch trap sticky. I just didn't want the sidewall. If they would have made a 20 in the traps, I would have bought the traps.
Oh, they don't make a 20-inch strap?
Nope. It's only 17s. So I had such a big sidewall issue with the useless boggers that I figured I wanted to try the 20s out, and
See how it
I've
goes,
always
yeah.
loved the SXs, and I've wheeled these 4 times now, 3 in the snow and 1 this weekend in the dry, and I've been impressed with everything I've put them into. So
Nice.
I have no complaints yet on the SXs.
Hell yeah.
Well, especially when you get into that range, like the 44, 43-inch tire,
Yeah.
right? 17 becomes like pushing
Yeah.
it, right? That's like running a 15-inch on a 40.
Yeah.
It's just
No,
Yeah,
so-
exactly.
I disagree, Graham. I'm gonna say that's more like running a 15 on a fucking. I compare running a 17 on a 40 to running a 15 on a 35.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna get bigger than that, you might as well go 20.
Yeah, you kind of have to. You're just too much sidewall. I mean,
Yeah.
even now, there's still a good amount of sidewall with the 20.
Yeah,
That's
those you showed us through the video. That's fucking
Yeah.
impressive.
There's another one right there.
I mean, it looks proportional.
Yeah,
it
it
looks- it
doesn't
doesn't
look
look
like
stupid.
it's a fucking 20
And as long as
on
that,
a
as long as
normal
it looks
tire.
good, who cares how it performs, right? That's
Yeah, exactly. So they perform.
Yeah, exactly.
The traps are actually taller. So these only measure 41 and a half.
No.
They don't measure their true 43 because Swamper doesn't know how to use a tape measure. So they should be 41 and a half inch SXs, not 43s.
Yep.
The traps are actually like a half an inch or a 3/4 of an inch taller than these tires.
Gotcha.
And they're they're 1450s. I think these are these are 1450s as well. So the same width. It's just that they're a little taller, but I do like the traps. I'm a kind of a trap guy, so I do like the traps.
Traps look cool. Yeah.
But yeah, they do look cool. The
I'm
SXs,
jealous of
I don't know, they look pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they do
My
the
buddy
job
Curtis. Curtis, who's been on a few times, he basically got his set for free. I'm jealous. A free set of
that's kinda
42
nice, yeah.
traps is pretty fucking
Well,
nice.
he won a raffle, so give him the credit there. You made it sound like he was just handed tires.
He just handed them. Yep.
No, he won a raffle.
Max just
Yeah,
gave him.
I had to. Yeah, that's nice. I had to save and then save and then save. When I finally saved, $5,000 to buy these things, I
ridiculous.
debated it. I debated it when it was in the cart, and Go Forth sent me the bill, and I went, do I really want those tires? I've had less money in rigs than I have in those wheels and tires, but I mean, it's kind of, at the end of the day, I bought it and whatever.
That's one of
break
those
them in,
things.
they'll work good.
That's one of those things. Like even now, I have a cheap rig, but that cheap rig is fucking batting right up at like 8,500.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, you probably couldn't do what I did again for that price, but at the same time, that's still a lot of fucking money in a fucking Jeep. Add
I
in
mean,
fucking
it
stickies,
is.
and you're
It is.
getting fucking ridiculous.
I
Well,
don't.
this winter was supposed to be an easy winter for me and just fix my steering, and then it turned into stickies and steering in the front half, and it was 10 grand before I batted an eye. So it goes quick.
Yeah,
So it goes
yeah, it
quick.
does.
Well, like, not to keep dragging this out, but it's like with the move coming up, where I'm looking at moving, they don't do emissions. They don't do
Well,
fucking
they don't do emissions
inspection
here
either.
either. It's just Connecticut. You live in Connecticut, so you're
Well,
fucked.
yeah,
But
but I mean, like, if we're talking about where I'm looking at moving, I could move or I could put a Holly sniper system on a fucking 4.8 with a big old fucking whistly boy, and it would go under the radar. It's fucking wild. So, like,
Mass isn't that nice. Mass doesn't
mm,
like. They
no,
don't like modified things.
no. I haven't had any. I
dude,
mean, you with your 40-inch tire Tacoma never had any shit. I haven't had any shit with my Jeep with fully built, beat to shit cage
Yeah.
37s. I drive it through Boston like a couple
I
times
would
a
have
week. Never had an
I
issue.
would have probably kept it. I got pulled over like 4 times in that thing. I
Okay.
couldn't get an inspection sticker because
Oh, neither can I.
I had
Yeah.
I had like 75 check engine lights for like wheel screws and all this crap because it was independent. So I needed to wait like 3 more years till it passed when so I could have got a sticker. And last year we were able to get a real sticker on it. So I probably would have kept it. You got to be an adult.
But you couldn't get the sticker.
every now
Yeah.
and then.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
do have
I was
to
driving
say
it.
that the new rig is pretty fucking dope. Like, I remember
appreciate
just looking at it and I got asked to be the spotter for that group when we went out to Brookridge, and it was one of those things where Fravern roped me in and he was like, "Hey, can you go and spot for the greens?" And I'm like, sure."
The
And then it
greens?
became I
Yeah,
got
it
asked
started
to
out
spot
that
for the
way.
greens.
Didn't I have to drive for the greens? I think I was leading the green group or something.
No,
It was
you were
something
leading the
stupid.
blue group.
Okay, still
Yeah.
dumb. I should have been in the black red.
And
or
I was
something.
like, okay, cool, I'll go do that. I don't know. I have to say, Graham, it sounds like you're roping Andy into the club, and fucking, if we can rope Andy and Chris into the club, we'll be doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, true.
So, like,
And I
we're
got a couple
kinda-
other guys who are talking to me who are like, blah, 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 let's, if you got any events going on, let me know.
Wait,
Uh,
Andy
Yeah.
who?
Andy with the OM617.
That's me.
Fucking-
Don't give Graham
Yeah,
the
that's
credit for
Cody,
that one,
that's Cody.
fucker. That's me. Andy's.
Nah, all I was saying was that he was on the fucking same trail as you guys,
Yeah,
and he was the group leader. That's
Oh, yeah,
all I'm saying there.
Oh
But-
yeah, I mean we tried stuff and didn't make it because all the guys in the red group had dug it out and it wasn't doable.
Those
And then
guys,
they drove by and they were like, "Yeah, we couldn't make it up that even earlier before we dug it out. Now it's all dug out." It was
So
Well,
I
it doesn't help that
was
you got
actually a
fucking
green.
assault weapons.
I was actually a green. I was supposed to be the green trail leader with the buggy.
What?
Craven
Oh, that's
didn't have,
hilarious.
he didn't have somebody that wanted to do it, so I was actually parked. If you remember where I was parked in front of the green group.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're
I
off
was
to the
actually
right
the
side.
leader for the green group, and my
That
wife
would have
was
been
actually
hilarious.
driving, not me. So my wife was driving it, and I was supposed to lead the greens. And he said, "Chris, do you mind doing the reds? Because Colin doesn't know what he's doing, and he's being a whiny bitch." So I ended up doing the.
Dude, we gotta have this guy on more. If we shit on Colin, at some point in time, he's gonna have to come back and defend his honor, right?
Yeah, true.
I mean, maybe.
I love that kid to death, but like, we have literally been chasing him around God's green earth, trying to fucking slap him into actually coming and doing some wheeling shit.
Yeah.
We're talking about wheeling shit.
At the very
Yeah,
least.
That's
he wheeled pretty good. I mean, his Cherokee did well. Other
With
than the
spanked
baloney he was wearing
SMTRs,
tires.
yeah.
Yeah, he did well. He was definitely beating it, and he wasn't afraid to You know,
Oh, the
put it in
kid
some
knows how to
funny spot.
drive, and he knows the limits of his rig. His tires just don't let
Yeah.
him get up stuff half the time, and
Yeah.
it's really it. The rig needs a lot of work. I've been underneath the thing, and I mean,
Yeah.
the kid does great work, but the unibody has not been nice to him. There's not a lot
Yeah, and
left.
he jumps it as well.
Oh yeah, he
I
beats
mean,
the
it's not like
shit out of it. It's just
he jumped it 2 or 3 times when we were at Brookridge. So I mean, he definitely is not afraid to beat the shit out
And
of
I
it.
was riding passenger for that. I got asked to spot, and Rob's just like, "Yeah, can you go and spot for the green group?" So I'm expecting to go out there for like a Dodge 1500, maybe like a Bronco,
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
JK's, shit like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, whatever. Yeah, 7 hours before I left for the fucking trip, he's like, "Yeah, no, you're doing the Reds now." And I'm like, "I'm doing the Reds now? All right, well, fuck it. I'm gonna try."
Yeah, why not?
well, the Reds are
it was a
easier,
good
right?
time.
The guys who are doing the
Right.
Reds are prepared to roll. Like,
For the most part.
I
For the
agree.
most part, we had a good group. We had a good group of people. It was a good group.
Yeah, your
And
buddy with that
most of the
YJ
rest.
was cool. Other than
Yeah.
those 16.5s, that fucking blew.
Well, I'll say that my buddy Mike, we did some serious work to that YJ, and that YJ is now boat sided. It's on 43-inch stick ESXs with 20s, full cage. It's stretched or
damn.
that's no longer
And
a
you're just making
16.5
me
wheel.
feel more like a poor.
Yeah,
The more you keep talking.
you guys
Yeah,
have all
no.
the money and you must not ever sleep. You build these rigs like crazy.
No, I got 3 kids. My wife stays home all day, so I work a lot to pay for these shit boxes. So
Damn.
I work a lot and I work
That's
hard
a
to pay
rough
for
way
them.
to talk about your kids.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all right. I love them. It's just they don't work yet. So my oldest one, they don't really do anything.
Well, as soon as you get them working on the rigs, right, you'll get even
yeah,
more
I know.
done.
I get them out here every now and then, and they help out and they do stuff. They help me do the bead locks, and they'll help me do some stuff, but they get bored in about 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
kinda hard
I
to
gotta
keep
be
them
honest though,
focused.
that's gotta be one of the coolest fucking things about this shit is like, give them another fucking 3 years, 4 years at that point, and they're gonna be like, wait a minute, Dad's saying that if I don't roll this Toyota backwards and crush those cans, I can start fucking wheeling this monster. Fucking A.
So the goal is when he's about 10, the goal is to let him start driving. So that's when I started driving, and the goal is to let him start driving the buggy around 10, and then if he's good at it, then we'll build him a rig.
That's
If
So the
I'm
goal
being
is to-
honest, my first off-roading experience was probably when I rolled the quad at my aunt's house. I was about to say my grandparents, but no, that was at my aunt's house on the cattle farm. I fucking had a Grizzly 850 and I was running fences and I was being dumb. I fucking yeeted this thing up a fucking hill that it should not have been on. I rolled the fucking thing over myself. Man, you want to talk about learning your lesson real quick?
Yeah, you
Yep.
learn fast. Yeah, you learn fast.
So, I think we covered a decent bit of stuff here. You guys want to wrap it up soon?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Cool.
Yeah, any
Any,
final thoughts? Doesn't sound
All right,
like
well,
it.
on that note, Chris, go tell Megan to grab Mike by the balls and fucking drag him on here. I think
Yeah,
that
I'll
covers
try.
everything. Shouldn't be that hard. I mean, he drives the rig at least fucking half the time.
Well, and it
so-
seems like now we're just grabbing Rockahoulics guys and bringing them in. It's just week after week. You know, we've had
This is
Timmy.
3 in a row, isn't it? Isn't it? It's Craven, then
yeah,
Timmy.
well,
yeah.
no. Craven doesn't fucking count.
Yeah, I don't
He
know if
says
Craven
Rockaholics in name only.
He's one of those satellite members, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he wheels every now and then. He comes out every now and then.
He's busy.
He helped a
He's
lot with
always
the buggy,
busy.
so I can't give him shit. He put
His
in a lot
buggy
of work
doesn't
on the
even
buggy.
have a fucking cage on it right now. We saw
Yeah,
last time he was on,
So-
he showed us it was like frame rails and floor and dashboard.
someone's gonna step away from the sawzall. He got a little crazy with the
Oh
sawzall.
yeah, oh yeah. He cut
He
everything
went a little
off.
crazy.
I mean,
All of it. He cut all of it. He cut
yeah.
all of it.
I don't blame him.
So-
The initial cage work wasn't bad, but it left a lot to be
Yeah, the
desired.
jug it
So
broke. The jug it broke a lot. I pulled him a couple times, and
yeah.
I think he owes me a couple stub shafts. So he's broke a lot for sure, and he's a great guy. But we're gonna
So
get
I
him a real
mean,
rig. So
we'll call him a satellite. So that means that we got Timmy and you. I guess
Okay.
next we gotta grab fucking Mike or Megan.
all right,
Hell yeah.
I'll
I don't
I'll
know. The
message
more
I'll message
Rockaholics
Megan, see
guys
if
we
we can get her
grab,
on
though,
it.
the less excuses I have for not having gone to Field and Forest. I mean,
You
you have an
you
excuse.
actually lost all your excuses. So
I
you
have no
actually have
excuses.
to
I mean,
go this
the
year.
fact that
You've got
Timmy's
none.
literally been bugging me. He's been like, "Okay, we're going to Field and Forest." I'm like, "I'm not ready yet. I still need to
And
fix
if,
my
and
wheel box."
if you break your Jeep and you yeet it too hard or whatever you want to say about that thing, I'll tow the fucking thing home. So,
And
you got
even
Oh no!
you
I'll
got
just put it on a
no
AAA
excuse.
tow truck and bring it back. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll drag the fucker home for you. So you got
Sweet.
no excuse now. Not to
Alrighty.
car.
Alrighty.
On a side note to that, I know my rig won't be ready, but if given the opportunity, I will happily go up there and spot.
Yeah.
I have to thank you a lot for coming on, especially on as short of notice as you did, because it was fucking hilarious. You're like, hey man, next time you go up to Ma Bell, message me. By the way, I've been listening to the podcast. I'm up to like episode 20, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh really, man? Well, why don't you hop on tonight?
How would you get on episode 30?
Yeah.
You live it.
That's that's literally how it went. That's exactly how it went. I was like, sure, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
And I gotta thank you for coming on because this has been awesome. It's been hilarious. It's been fun, and I
Well,
feel
thanks
like
for
we
having me.
covered a lot of decent fucking technical shit. So thank you very much for coming on. You want to cut it here, Graham?
Yeah, I think we'll cut it. Good episode.
yeah.
Oh, 100%. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.